What's up, everybody? Is my mic on? Yes, it is. How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome to Fishy Hour. What's up, Joey? Joey Batson in the house. Welcome. Quick shout-outs. Quick shout-outs. I see Saltwater Slayer, Stingray, Doug Rubin in the house. What up, El Sueño in the house? Got Leonard. What up, Leonard? I got Mr. All-Nighter Hider. Welcome. I got Todd. Welcome back. TB Metal Art. Got Joe Diego already. Got Salty Dang in the house. Got Mr. Roy in here. What's up, everybody? Welcome, Captain Dan. Very cool. All right. So today is bait fishing with Roman and Brian, but Brian's not here, so it's going to be bait fishing with Roman. Haha, let's do this. Okay. First and foremost, always drinks. So this is Fishy Hour. Let's get a drink going. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best pop top you ever heard in your life, 1 being the worst. Rate this pop top. Wow, that was weak. I put it in the freezer and I think I overdid it. Cheers, everybody. Nice little frosty spotted bay bass drink. Spotty soda. A question: would a Federal Reserve taper their bond purchases off at $150 million a month? Answer: no, if they don't want this weak economy to collapse. So you gotta put your money in Bitcoin, bro. They can print as much money as they want. If your money's in Bitcoin, it doesn't devalue it. Boom. All right, let's keep it going. All right. Throw a little background music on. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so today, just some quick announcements, fellas. Quick announcements. We're doing Kevin Nakata is going to be here on next Monday. Kevin Nakata is going to be here on Monday, and we're going to do a show with him, and we're going to talk about the Savage Gear lineup, and he's going to answer any of your fishing questions you have. It doesn't have to be about Savage Gear. It could be about any gear. It could be about any of the kind of fishing you've seen him done. So do come back for that. Invite your friends. Let them know. Spread the word that Nakata is going to be on Fishy Hour Monday. Okay? And then Wednesday, Brian will be back. So it's going to be awesome. He'll get to tell us all of the story about what happened over in Lake Mead. And then on October 30th, which is the day before Halloween, it's a Saturday, we're going to be doing a bait fishing. No, sorry. We're going to be doing what we call Savage Max. We're going to do a Savage Max get together. It's by invitation only. So only you guys that watch this show, only you guys that are in the Mad Max Fishing Club will get a copy of the voucher you guys need to show us when you show up in the morning. Kevin's going to bring a bunch of Savage Gear fishing lures that he wants us to check out. We're going to show up in the morning. We're going to show him our invitation that we're part of MMFC, and he's going to let you choose some baits, and you can just go and fish them. I'll be with him. I'll be hanging out with him in the morning and to greet everybody and say hello for like the first hour or two, and then I'll jump on my kayak and go fishing with you guys. It's going to be a blast. So it's going to be fun. That'll be October 30th. Savage Max. Okay, Savage Max by invite only. That's what we're calling it. If you're not a Savage Max, if you're not a Mad Max member, like DFA guys are welcome. Everybody's welcome, guys. You just have to go on our Discord and get the flyer that I'm going to post a little bit later. Okay. And let's see, is that it? I think that's the bulk of it. Yeah, I think that's the bulk of it. We also have. Yeah, we're gonna start. We're in the planning phase of Spotty Bowl Season 2 for next year, so that's also in the works, guys. Keep track of that. Cool. All right, and then let's see. Anybody have any questions on what I've shared so far? Please put it in the chat, and we can move on with that. Otherwise, I did put something together for you guys today. I made a little presentation, and I couldn't find the right stuff to. I couldn't find the right stuff to make the presentation, so I got carried away. Started busting out the Illustrator, busting out the Photoshop, came up with my own slides. I hope you guys like it. It'll be fun. So we're gonna be covering later tonight. I'm gonna be covering drift fishing, how to drift, how to set up a drift, what the heck is a drift, and how does it benefit you as a kayak fisherman or as an angler that's on the water on a boat or on a kayak or even a float tube if you want to go long distances. So that's coming up in a little bit. Just as soon as we're done with all the announcements, and any questions you guys might have now, let me know. Okay. Let's see. So yeah, that's pretty much all the announcements. Does anybody else in the chat have anything they want to share? Oh yeah, we also have PB shoutouts. I was able to get that together. Yeah, Drift 101. That's right, Drifting 101. I call it. I'm gonna call this series Fishing Explained. Drifting. It's not drifting like pulling the e-brake in your car and like throttling it. It's drifting on a boat or a kayak. Okay, so that's what we're doing. I seem to always fight the wind on my drifts. Ooh, that's a good one. Okay, so we'll talk about that. I have some stuff in the presentation, and at the end of it, questions please, and then we can tackle more specific things or more specific issues. Anything I might have missed would be great, and then I can modify my presentation for next time. Okay. So okay, let's actually get ready to start that. It looks like you guys are ready to go. Let's do this. We have a lot of time, and yeah, let's do it now. I'm just gonna do the presentation. Fishing Explained, drifting. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna bring that up real quick. Let's see if I get this. So I have this sorted out already. Boom, boom. And then remember, guys, stick around because after this we're gonna do PB shoutouts. Okay, I got some PB shoutouts today too. So here we go. Transitioning over to Fishing Explained, drifting. Wow, look at that. That's right. Spare no expense over here. See, can you see my cursor? There it is. Look at this little guy. I made that guy all on my own. He's gonna be our little guy. What are we gonna name this dude? We need to name this kayaker guy. We need to name this little fictional kayak person. I was gonna name him, but I thought it'd be more fun if you guys came up with a name for him. Okay, so name this dude. Put it in the chat. What should we call this little kayak? A little kayaking model. Okay, here we go. And obviously he's on a pro angler with the turbo fins and the upgraded rudder. What? All right, here we go. Fishing Explained, drifting. Does everybody in the chat know what drifting is? If not, if you know what drifting is, put yes. If you don't know, put no. Bobby drifts. Oh, I like that. Al Bundy, Drifting Dan. That's hilarious. Mac. Oh, I like it. Bobby drifts. And Drifting Dan is so good. Bass catch him. Nice. Yeah, of course, Coach knows what drifting is. Leonard knows what drifting is. Homie on the Hobie says Roy. That's so good. That's so funny. All right, here we go. Drifting. What the heck is it? Let's talk about it. Okay. Presentation up. Let's see what it looks like on the. Screen. Looks pretty good. Oh, not too bad at all. Okay. What is drifting and why do I care? Oh, okay. I see. What is drifting and why do I care? Okay. While on a kayak, boat, you ride the current or the wind pushes you over the water to extend your cast and cover more ground with less effort. So you basically get to cast your line out and drift, and it's like having a really long cast, as long as you don't get snagged and as long as you don't reel up too soon, right? So let's keep going. Let's keep the presentation going. Let me know what you think so far. Okay, when can you drift? So first off, let's talk about what conditions allow you to drift. Okay, here we go. Boom. You can drift when there is wind or current, and here are some examples. Okay, here's some examples I put together for you guys for a little graphical representation of conditions. And what are we gonna call this guy after all? Homie on the Hobie, Kook Man. I feel like 7th grade and my teacher is giving a presentation. This is a presentation. But what's your teacher know about fishing, bro? Nothing. Drifting. Oh man, Drifting Dan and Bobby Drifts is so good. Dang. What up, Muto? Welcome. All right, guys. Between Drifting Dan and Bobby Drifts, choose in the chat. Bobby Drifts or Drifting Dan. Let's go. Type it in the chat. Cause I need to refer to this guy as that. Okay. When can you drift? Okay, when there is wind and or current. Okay. You can you can drift when there's just wind or when there's just current. Okay. It's here's some examples. All right. So wind and no current, you can still drift. So that's equals drift. So you'll see the guy Drifting Dan. Is it Drifting Dan is the winner? Bobby drifts. Beeline fishing man. Bobby drifts. All right, Bobby drifts is chilling, and he's got the wind at his face, and that's causing his kayak to drift to the right over here because there's no current to counter that momentum. The only thing acting on his body and the top of his kayak plus his rods hanging out of the top here. That's acting as a sail, and so it's pushing him along the water over here to the right. Okay, so that's one scenario where you would be drifting. Okay, another scenario where you would be drifting is if there's no wind, but there's current. Your kayak will be pushed by the stuff that's dragging in the water, so the water will push your kayak in the direction that the current is flowing. So the current's going to the right. Bobby drifts here will be drifting to the right. Okay, so or to his rear. Okay, all right. Another condition when there's wind and current in the same direction, then you have a super fast drift. Okay, your little guy, what is it? Bobby drifts is gonna be hauling butt, and you better let a lot of line out, otherwise his bait's not gonna make contact with the floor, or he's gonna add more weight to his line. We'll talk about that later. Right now, we're just talking about what a drift is, and we're gonna talk about how it affects your line and how it affects your fishing in a minute. Okay, bear with me. Let's do this. Get the foundation going. Okay. All right. What happens if the wind and the current are in opposite directions? Oh no, we got to stall. This is very rare, guys. This is super rare. Basically, the wind has to be pushing against you as much as the current is pushing against you in the opposite direction, here and here, right? That's got to be equal, and that's pretty rare in nature for that to happen, right? So the current's always fluctuating, so is the wind. But if you've ever fished out of Mission Bay, when you launch out of Dana Landing and you come out of the Dana Landing boat area, past like the no wake sign, when the current is going out and you have the prevailing wind coming in towards Mission Bay, sometimes you'll come straight out, and instead of drifting towards a bridge, like towards Fiesta Island, or drifting towards Mission Bay towards the opening, you'll just kind of sit there. You won't go. You feel like the wind is pushing you one way, but the current's pushing the other way, and you're not going more east or west. You're just kind of sitting there, right? That's a stall. That's a stall, and we'll talk about ways to remedy that too. There's things you can do, like you can put up a sail, I guess, if you want, but there's also another thing you can do. You can put in what is it called, a drift sock, and I don't have a picture of it, but I should have. A drift sock, basically, it's like a sail that's made in the shape of a cone with a hole at the bottom. It's kind of like a funnel, and it's all soft, right? But you throw it in the water, you attach it to your kayak, and it kind of creates like a balloon underwater in the shape of a cone. That, in this case, if Bobby here Drift here was gonna put a drift sock in the water here where my cursor is, then the drift sock would speed up his drift along with the current and counteract the effect of the wind, so he'll be going more towards the left, right? Now, if there's no current and there's wind like it is, like there is here. Let's do this one here. And he puts a drift sock right here. Like say the current's super fast and he doesn't want to drift this fast. He can throw a wind sock right here where my cursor is and attach it to his kayak, and it basically drags in the water, slowing him down as the wind pushes against him, right? So that's another way you can use a drift sock. It's kind of to help control your speed, right? Okay, of your drift, or to slow it down or to stop it, depending on what the conditions are. And also depending on the size of your drift sock. Okay, let's go to the next scenario. Wind and current in the same direction. Oh, he did this one already. In the same direction. That's super fast. Oh, okay. All right, so that's like super fast conditions there. We did the stall. Okay, good. All right. So that covers most of the variations you can do as far as like the forces of nature. Here's so another scenario that could happen, and here notice how we changed the angle. Bobby drift here. We got a drone view of him, so above the water. We're looking straight down at his kayak, and notice that he has no feet. What's going on with this guy? I don't know. So I just know that he likes to fish, and we're cool. We're friends. So the wind is pushing him towards the right, and the current is going down, right? Or if we're going to talk north, east, west, south, let's say the wind is going east and the current is going south in this scenario, okay? So when that happens, then you have the equivalent to a diagonal drift. So wind and current, different directions equal diagonal drift. And the angle of your drift depends on the angle of the wind and current relative to each other, okay? But in this case, we made it nice and simple. One's going right, one's going down, and that puts you at a downward right angle on your drift, okay? So that's what a drift is. That's what's happening, and now we need to figure out how to figure out the current direction. So this is like the theory, right? And now when we're actually on the water, we need to figure out which way the current's going. And if you're new to it, maybe you don't understand it. You don't know why you're getting pushed around by the water. You don't know why you're getting moved around. So here's some helpful ways to try to figure that out. So you kind of can figure out which way to cast and all that good stuff, because you need to know all this stuff first before I tell you which way to cast and all that. Okay. So first, say you made it to your fishing location. You made it, like say you went out of Dana Landing, you went straight out to where the open area is in front of Paradise Point or whatever, and you want to figure out your drift. Want to figure out which way the current's pushing you. And just pretend in this scenario there's no wind, it's only current. Okay, so you're going to get to a certain spot, stop pedaling, maybe even put it in reverse so you're not moving, and then just look which way the current takes you. Right. A good way to figure that out is if you stop relative to like one of the buoys, you can see which way it's pushing you away from it or towards it, and you can see which way the current's going. If you have a GPS unit in your fish finder, it's a lot easier to do it that way, because then you can see where you stopped, and you can see with the GPS which way you're drifting, right? And you can actually it actually shows you, it draws a line for you, right? So that's another good way to do that. Another way to look for indicators is an easy one, especially when you're fishing in the bays. A lot of these slow no wake zone and 5 mile per hour buoys. A lot of those buoys have kelp that's been attached to them, or like it gets trapped. It just kind of gets snagged on there, right? So what you do is you look at the buoy and you can see it. The buoy is attached to the bottom. It's attached to the floor. So as the current is pushing on that buoy, you can see which way the kelp is attached to it, or even the buoy itself. Sometimes, depending on the current, it's leaving a wake as the water passes over it or next to it. It's leaving a wake in the opposite direction that the current is flowing. So if the current is flowing from right to left, you'll see the buoy has a wake to its left or behind it, right? And so let's do an example with this slide real quick. So if Bobby Drift here was a buoy, then you would see a little wake, and he was attached to the bottom right here with like a line. You would see a drift. You would see a wake behind him. If any kind of eelgrass was snagged on his chain or here, you would see the kelp. You will see the kelp dangling out of the back, just kind of like moving in the water in that direction. That means that the current is coming from this side, right? So same thing when you're in the water, that's what you would look for. Okay, that's another indicator you can use. If it's shallow enough and you can, or if it's clear enough and you can see the grass on the bottom, the eelgrass, then you can also see which way the eelgrass is laying down. That'll tell you which way the current is pushing it. Okay, so there you go. That's the way you figure out the current. How to find the wind direction. This is a hard one, guys. It's probably the most difficult one. Just kidding. It's not hard. This is the easy one. Okay. You can feel the wind on your face. It's pretty easy to figure out which way the wind is coming from. But if you can't figure it out, if you're gaitered up and you can't feel anything, then you maybe would look around at buildings that have flags. Those are perfect to help you identify which way the wind is going. Palm trees are really good because they have a big enough leaves that the palm fronds, that you can actually see which way they're getting pushed, right? Sailboats, you know how sailboats use the wind. So anyway, use sailboats or any kind of you might even have your own flag on your kayak. That'll work as a wind indicator, the direction of the wind. Another way you could do it is you can lick your finger and hold it up in the air like you just got a good idea or have a question. Just kidding, don't do that. Don't lick your finger. That's gross. Okay, we're moving on. Should I pause for questions at this point? Let me see what's going on with the chat right here. I really like the kayak drawing. I swear I seen that dude on the base before. Yeah, that's Bobby Drifts right there. Happy Wednesday, Zach. Welcome. Yeah, it's like an underwater parachute, Ralph. That's correct. Very cool. Okay, making sure I got everything sorted out. Okay, I really like this. Okay, cool. All right, moving on with the presentation. Gonna keep going. Okay, now we know our drift. We figured out which way the wind is going. We figured out which way the current is going, and we figured out what direction our kayak is going to get taken if we stop pedaling, right? Let's move on to the next step. Okay, how can we use this to fish? Okay, so first we're going to do a drift pattern, and then we're going to talk about drifting along the shoreline. Okay, so in a drift pattern, you use the drift to help cover large areas of open water. Okay, and here's the next slide to best explain what I'm talking about. Boom. Okay, so the wind is going this way, the current is going that way, and so that makes our drift kind of at a diagonal, slanting down, right, down and right. So what Bobby Drift did over here is he set up right at the beginning of his drift right here, and I realized after I made this graphic that this is too tight. It's too tightly packed. You should probably do it more spread out, like more of a curve here, because Bobby Drift doesn't want to miss a single fish. Okay, so he starts here, and he lets a wind and the current take him. He's gonna drift at an angle, right? And while he's here, he's gonna cast over here, like up here somewhere, right? And then when he gets to the bottom of this drift, and he's gonna basically paddle back up. Look on his fish finder, see where he was. Paddle back up, parallel to that spot where he started before, and then start to drift again. Boom, all the way back. And then again, all day long, or until he's done covering that area. A place where I like to do this style of fishing is in front of Ski Beach and Fiesta Island. That whole area is nice to do this on because you could cover a whole lot of eelgrass area, and that whole area is pretty shallow and it's got eelgrass. It's amazing. So this is a good way to cover that area and not get like worn out. Anyway, so that's it there, and you can see the angle of his casting rod here. He's casting this way, and he's letting his lure sink all the way to the bottom, and then he's just kind of holding his rod tip up a little bit so you can feel the bumps as he drifts all the way back. And then when he gets here, he's gonna reel it up, and then reset his drift and do it again. Okay, that's how you'd cover big areas, big open spaces where there's no structures, there's nothing to fish against. And that's the way to do it. Okay. Next is drifting a shoreline. So another way you can use a drift is to cover vast areas of shoreline and just let the current do all the work for you, do all the paddling for you. And so I made a bunch of different scenarios here, and let me explain what they mean. Okay. So Bobby Drift here A is he's just casting straight out against the current, which is the way you should be casting, against the current. and he is letting his lure hit the bottom, and he's just letting his kayak get pushed to the right with the drift, and he's just happy to do that. He's gonna wait for his bite to come and let the drift do the reeling for him. Even though he's not reeling, he basically has a cast from here until infinity, until it decides to reel it up, or he gets snagged, or he gets a bite. Okay, so it's super cool. Okay, that's one option. And then Bobby Drift number 2, or Bobby Drift B, he's casting with like a, I don't know, with like a lure that's like not necessarily, maybe like a spinner bait or like a swim bait, where it doesn't have to be on the bottom. It can be on the bottom, and so he's casting it at an angle here, letting it drop, and he's reeling it in. He's reeling it in so that it's swimming, not actually dragging on the floor, right? So that would be option B here, right? And you could do that with a. You actually do that. You could do that with a crankbait as well. This kind of style, right? And then you have Bobby Drift C over here. He's casting straight at the shore, and just like burning it in each way, right? Boom, boom, boom. And maybe he's doing that with like a spinner bait, or like some top water stuff, because it's like super shallow right there, right? Or a bait that's like a bait that's just like a bait that you don't have to wait for it to sink to the bottom, so you can make these short, quick movements, right? And if Bobby Drift was fishing with all of his friends, with all these 3 guys, then technically you could all fish the same zone and not get in each other's way, because this guy's casting forward and this guy's casting at an angle, and you guys are double covering this area here, but that's fine. And then this guy over here is just kind of fishing the outside edge. This guy also could be casting out this way, right? So there's a lot of room for you guys to fish together. This is a good configuration if you're fishing like with a couple friends. Okay. Any questions so far before we move into the next phase? Let me see. I hope everyone is well. Hump day. What up? That's right. I love the drift with an A-rig. Yeah, there you go. That's awesome. Okay, I like the style of drifting in the Coronado Pier area. Very good. How would you handle the situation if the wind started blowing north in this example? Okay. Oh, yeah. If the wind started blowing you into shore, but the current is still blowing you to the right, then you're basically back to doing something like this, right? Where, let's see. Well, we'll go with you would position your kayak as a like for this guy, it would be easy to compensate for the wind coming north this way, because it's pushing him towards shore, and all he has to do is stay lined up this way, and when he feels himself getting pushed too close to shore, he just pedals a little bit, right? He's basically gonna be doing this. The wind is gonna push him towards the shore. He's gonna push out. The wind's gonna push him to the shore. It's gonna push out. You basically have to choose which one you're gonna fight. You're gonna fight the wind at this point. So as long as your bow is pointed towards the wind, the current is still gonna be pushing you to the right. And whenever you feel you're going too far back, you're just gonna reset a little bit. Pedal. So pedal, drift, pedal, drift. So because your drift at that point would be going this way, right? So that's how I would compensate for this guys. And these guys right here, they would have to have their gear in their pedal set to reverse. If they wanted to face the shore like that, these guys would have to set their pedals to reverse. And then as they're going this way, they're getting pushed in. They just hit reverse, reverse, drift, reverse, drift. So that's how I would fish that if the wind also was in this scenario. Okay, good question, dude. That's a really good question. All right, now when with drift comes a lot of responsibility. I'm just kidding. With drifting, there's other things you need to consider. Okay, and so depending on the current, depending on the wind, depending on how fast your drift is, right? If you also have wind in this scenario, then you might be going faster than the current, right? If you If you have wind in the opposite direction, then you might be going slower than the current because it's keeping you in one spot. Anyway, we already went over that. Let's go over. Let's stay on this topic here. So, Bobby Drifts here needs to get his lure on the bottom. So, you have to take into consideration there's pressure on your line from the current right here, right? But there's also pressure on the line from the water here, just it catching on your line based on your speed going to on your drift. Okay, it's a little bit weird because you're not drifting as fast as the current sometimes. In this case, if the current's faster than your drift, then the line's gonna bow like this. If you're faster than the drift, like say there's wind up here and there's hardly any current, then your line's gonna bow the other way, this way, and the water pushing up on your line here is gonna keep you on off the bottom. So you have to make sure you have enough line out, but also you don't want too much line out. Okay, so this is how we control that. You can do two things. If your lure is not touching the bottom, like so, you either have too light of a weight, too light of a lure for that current or for that drift, or you're not letting out enough line. Okay, and it's a combination of both. So it's you can decide. Like if you have too light of a, sometimes even if you let out all the line, as long as you're moving, your lure is just not light. Your lure is just too light. It's not heavy enough, right? It also depends on your line thickness, but we're not going to swap out our line thickness. The best thing to do is we're going to check the lure, make sure it's heavy enough for the depth we're fishing. Okay, so let's go back to this guy. Boom, right there. This guy's perfect. He's got his line right here. He might even have too much line out at this point, right? Ideally, we would want his line just touching, like right here where my cursor is, just touching, and he's gonna feel the snag of that grass right there. He's gonna keep drifting. He's gonna feel that snag right there. Maybe he pops it, and then maybe that spotty sees it and wants to get bit. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. It's fishing, right? So, all right. So this is what it looks like when you don't have enough line out or not enough weight on your lure. In this case, if you put a heavy weight on this short of a line, it's gonna be like right here, and it's not gonna drift well. You want to have it at an out. You want to have it out over here. So in this case, I would put more line out, and if it's floating up like this, I would do more weight in addition to more line. Okay, two things you can control very easily on your own. So let's keep it going. Any questions so far before I keep going? Let's see. Leonard, I like your version of the joke better than Looks like somebody forgot to drain the plugs, the PA setting low in the water. That's awesome. Last guy in the drift catches all the fish that got excited from everyone else's baits, but didn't strike them. Ooh, that's interesting, Hyder. That's an interesting hypothesis. I called scoop the amount of line let out to create the angle. Yep. Okay, that's good. It's called scoop. Okay, I like it. Oh, scope. That's good. That's good, Hyder. Very cool. So that's a scope. The scope is the amount of line you let out to get the right setting. So you want it to look like this. Okay. All right. So that's basically how drifts work, guys. And I know it's kind of like a little bit of an overview, but I got some diagrams in there. Hopefully that's helpful to you guys. Now we're going to talk about things that can happen besides this beginner mistake of not having enough line out and not being on the bottom. You could also end up snagging. Okay, so here we go. Snags. You're snagged. You're snagged, bro. All right, so Bobby Drift here is snagged on a boulder that somehow remained clean without any growth on it after so many years of being in the bay. It's weird. It's like the only rock that doesn't have anything on it. And his line is tense here. He's stuck. What should you do to get unstuck? Should you start cranking on it up here and just pull on it as hard as you can? Use a rock as like an anchor, and to eventually pop the hook or your line or bend it out, whatever. No, of course not. What you should do is get on those pedals, get past the obstacle, and I would say about 80% of the time, that's enough for your lure to get unstuck. Okay? unless it was snagged on grass, and you'll have to just basically pull out the clump of grass. But with rocks and that kind and like harder structure, you might luck out if you just pedal back over the obstacle that you got stuck on, and then pull on that lure from an opposite angle. Okay, that's the way you would get unstuck. Okay, let's see what else we got here. That's right, and then boom, you're bit. There you go. This guy caught the fish. He's taking pictures of it on his kayak, and the real monster's still under him. He doesn't even realize it. All right, round of applause from the live studio audience. What do you guys think? Let's do this. That's so funny. All right, let me see what you guys think about this presentation. Any questions, guys? I spent like 2 hours doing that thing. I don't think it was gonna take that. I thought it would take more time to go through it, but hey, that's good. Delivering some value. Is anything that I shared today something that is new to you, or you have any questions on? That'd be great. I'm gonna make a video of this for my regular channel and recycle that presentation. Also, if you have any feedback, I can add more scenarios maybe. Man, that spy was bigger than Bobby Drifts. Yeah. That's a world record right there that they're looking for. So funny. Very cool. All right, so that is drifting, guys. It's a really cool way of to fish. A lot of you guys are probably doing it and don't know it. Didn't even know it. I mean, there's no way to not drift when you're on a kayak. So really, what it comes down to is making sure that you're casting in the direction that the drift is coming from. How about drifting in deep water? Might be some other factors to consider. Yeah, in deep water, for sure, you would have to go into the bigger weights for sure, and longer line, right? I mean, but other than that, what else is there to consider, Coach? I mean, the effect, there's more line in the water, so that's gonna give you more of an effect. Because basically think of the square footage of your line, I guess. The more line in the water, the deeper it is, the more of an effect the current will have on that line, because there's so much more to push against. It would be great to splice in video of you actually doing these techniques in the video. Ooh, that'd be cool. Oh yeah, I like that, Zach. I'm always trying to remember to match the weight to the drift speed and depth. Yeah, exactly. That's the key right there. That's key, because you don't want to be sagging too much line out or not enough. And deeper the currents can be running. Oh, that's very good, Coach. That's a really good point. You can have currents running in different directions when you're fishing deeper. That's true. Keeping line vertical is more critical. Yeah, that makes sense. So a ton of weight and keep the line vertical. That's good. Maybe we should do a drifting the ocean video. That'd be a good a drifting the ocean presentation. That'd be a good one too. When I was doing this, and I was thinking more like in the bays, kind of like the kind of stuff we fish. But yeah, that makes sense when you're fishing deeper wrecks or just deeper structure. You want to keep the line up and down. That's true. The greenbacks over your shoulder don't look like gonna be. I can't do it on the hook. Nice. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. I think it's gonna fall off there. He's good. All right, cool. All right, so next, guys, I was kind of stalling a little bit to see if Brian was gonna call in, but I haven't heard back from Brian. He's actually at the WON Bass Tournament, WON Bass Tournament, and today was the first day of competition. I haven't heard back. Hopefully you did well, and we'll hear the full story when he gets back next Wednesday. Should be good. Do different types of line and test react differently to current? Yes, Zach, for sure. Basically think of think of it as like the surface area of the line, right? So let's just say like this drink, if it continued up and down, it's a cylinder shape, right? And so is a line. It's also a cylinder shape. And so if you're dragging it to the water this way, it's making drag. It's going around the sides, right? So that's your line. It's just a really long cylinder, a really thin, long cylinder, and that's making drag on the water. So the thinner the line, the less drag you're gonna have. There's also other factors in the line as well, like if it floats or not can make a little bit of a difference on how it sits on the water. But yeah, for the most part, thinner line will give you less drag, less upward lift when you're drifting. So you could use a lighter weight, right? Let's see. Okay. I watched part of the one tournament weigh-ins today. Didn't get to see Brian or his son weigh fish. Oh, that's cool. What channel was that on, Leonard? Okay, cool. Yeah, I haven't heard back. He might post something on Discord later. And speaking of Discord, if you're new to the show, make sure you hang out with us on Discord. Go to Discord. What is it? ! Discord in the chat, please. And join our community. This is where we all meet up and hang out and fish and share knowledge and post pictures, including pictures in the PB thread, where we pull pictures from our club and to feature them in the next segment of the show, which is called PB Shoutouts. So did the face off like UFC nice. That's awesome. All right, let's see. Let's get the next presentation up here and ready to cue it up. Okay. Before we jump into PB shoutouts, guys, are there any questions from anybody that's new to the show that would like to some advice on their fishing technique or whatever? Put it in the chat. If you're new to the show, if you're watching the replay and you have a question, just leave a question in the chat. We'll review it for next show, and we'll answer your question either next Monday or next Wednesday. Okay. Let's see. There we go. Ready, guys? Let's see. So welcome to PB Shoutouts, where we feature our latest catches. Join our Mad Max Fishing Club Discord server to be featured next week. ! Discord in the chat will get you the invitation link for you to join our Discord server. Also, I haven't done it yet, but I plan to this week. If you enjoy the tune that we're about to play to start this segment, it's going to be available as a ringtone to Patreon supporters. If you want to learn more about that, put ! Patreon in the chat. Patreon. All right, here we go. Let's get this queued up. Need to kill this music here. All right, here we go. I get a little bit nervous with this. I hope I'm doing it right. Hope I'm making Brian proud. Yeah, here we go.
We've seen you out on the water. They say you fishing harder. I guess we'll find out this week on our PB Shoutout.
Dang, that's such an awesome. All right, very cool. What's up, everybody? Let's do this. It's time for PB Shoutouts. As you guys know, PB stands for personal best. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a personal best fish that you submit, guys. It could just be a fish with a really cool story, like your first of its kind. You had a really good adventure with some close friends, something like that. Just sharing the good fishing vibes. That's what it's all about. So, PB shoutouts. Here we go. Let's kick things off with Mr. Eric Klein with the personal best halibut. He caught it on Sunday. And that thing came in at 30.75 inches, so 30 and 3/4 inches. Very nice, Eric. Congratulations. That's very cool. If you guys don't know who Eric is, he's a Cobra in our Discord server. Okay. Here's some of the notes he sent along with it. Okay, here it goes. I was on the Outback in South Bay on Sunday. Water temp was 71 to 72. Fishing was slow, so I drifted into the deeper channel and threw out a chartreuse, 3/4 ounce Warbaits underspin. Sorry, Brian, with 4-inch brown orange and clear red flake. Big hammer swim bait. Sorry. So 4-inch brown orange with clear red flake big hammer swim bait. I just did what I tell my kids not to do. Keep reading until the period. All right. So that there's Eric's halibut with his stoked. Family's stoked. That's awesome. Here's what it looked like on the kayak on the actual hawk trough. Blew it away. Look at that. Very nice. Man, that's a nice fish. Nice fish. Boom. Okay, let's do a little bit more of a little bit more. What did I get? Good. A little bit more of the story here. So he thought I was snagged something at. Sorry, I thought I snagged something at first. Then I felt a slow, heavy pull. Had to take my time since I had only 10-pound mono on a Phoenix ML Maxim rod. After 10 minutes, she came off the bottom. And I was in awe at this prehistoric beast. Teeth were huge, but all worn and rounded. Luckily, no big runs, or I'm sure she would have broke me off. Came in at 30 inches and 3/4, and it weighed 8.84 pounds. Beat my previous PB by over 6 inches. Very nice. Round of applause from the live studio audience. Woo! That's super nice. Very nice. Congratulations, Eric. Did you fillet that thing and eat it? Have you tried? Did you eat it yet? All right, let's go to the next PB shout out, and that is Mr. Aaron from Big Water KayakFishing. What up, Aaron? Welcome. So Aaron got a personal best barred sand bass, 2.49 pounds, and it measured 17 inches and 3/4. There's a lot of 3/4 today. 17 inches and 3/4. That's a nice fish. Here it is on the hawk trough, mouth closed, tail semi-fanned. Aaron, you could have probably got this to 18. The judge would have allowed it. As long as the tail here is not, as long as this part is not more narrow than this part, you could have put the tail down a little bit, and we give you that little fin triangle right here. We'll give that to you. So all you gotta do is push the fin a little bit down, like right here, and I think you would have got to 18 officially. So very cool. Nice catch, dude. Very cool. Congratulations on that. Let's see. And here's the scale. Dang, 2.49. There it is. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Round of applause from the live studio audience. Woohoo! And then we have another fish here. Let's see. This is Dark Dre Dude. He's on our Discord server. What up, Dark Dre Dude? Welcome. This is his first sculpin I've ever caught out in Mission Bay. I think it's his first sculpin he's ever caught ever, but he caught it in Mission Bay. As you can see from the photo, it looks like he's on a skiff, chilling. Very nice. This was only our first trip in the bay. Oh, that's cool. We didn't know it was legal, so I tossed it back. Later, I learned it was. Oh, no. I was mad about it, but still happy I caught it. Very cool. Well, hey, he's in a skunk. So congratulations on your first sculpin. Very nice. Thanks for sharing that. Careful with those things. Those things are poisonous. I mean, they eat pretty good, but the spines can stick you, so careful with that. All right. This is an interesting one. So this comes from Robert Saget over in our Discord server. He said, I saw what I thought was Corbina chasing baitfish in front of the midway. When I threw my lure out, something hit right away, but this is but this is definitely not what I thought it was. And unfortunately, it was the biggest fish I've caught in a few weeks. Dang. You still get a round of applause for effort. That's cool. So, hey man, it's like, it sucks, but it's good. Like, it's good when you get a fish. That little crankbait looks pretty nice. Very nice kind of little crankbait. Double hook that guy. That's cool. That's probably what was chasing the bait in the area right there. So that's very cool. Yeah, nice color. It's got some chartreuse in it, some orange in the belly. Very cool. All right, boys. So that about does it for PB shoutouts. Woo! All right. Congratulations, guys. Thanks for sending your pictures in. I appreciate that. And I hope you guys I wish you guys continued success in your fishing. Make sure you keep fishing. Boom. Okay, good here. Boom. What up, neighbor? Says that's my neighbor. What up, neighbor? Cal. Oh my gosh, Cal, you missed such a good presentation. If I do say so myself, you gotta watch the replay, Cal. It was a fun presentation. Like it. We did slides, bro. We did drift slides. Okay, go back and watch the replay. It's gonna be good. I got all. I had to show Brian that I could do this. Okay, let's see. Oh, I like scope and cuddling. Oh, nice. We've been rocking. You've been rocking it on the charters. Very nice. Yeah, he has. Yeah, scoping for. Oh, nice. Thanks, Cal. Thanks for doing that. All right, guys. So we have a couple minutes to answer questions or to do any announcements or to have any sound fishing in the house. What up? What up, Anthony? Welcome. Sorry, dude. I just did a couple presentations. We did the PB shoutouts. It was a blast. Dad jokes. Oh, I didn't prep any dad jokes, dude. Dang. I spent like 3 hours on that presentation. Every time I tell a story, I'm gonna add another hour. I spent like 4 hours on that presentation, Cal. You gotta watch it. I drew all the little guys. I even drew what's his name? Bobby Drifts. Oh, easy there. I typed in dad jokes in Google and accidentally put D jokes, and yeah, that's crazy. All right, here we go. Hope this isn't where Brian was getting his dad jokes. Here we go. 3 random dad jokes in honor of Brian. Or maybe do 5. Well, let's do 5 random dad jokes. Here we go. And I'm gonna get the rim shot right here. Here we go. Yeah, this is where he got his jokes. Brian, on the first one, Brian, come on. Yeah, here I thought you were an official Disneyland joke writer. But no. All right, here we go. Ready? Dad joke number 1. 2 guys walk into a bar. The third guy ducked. Hey! Bad dad joke number 2. Why are elevator jokes so classic and good? Why are elevator jokes so classic and good? Because they work on many levels. Hey, I'll be here all night. Not really. Bad dad jokes. Joke number 3. This is a good one. What do you call a pudgy psychic? What do you call a pudgy psychic? What do you call a pudgy psychic? A fortune teller. Oh! I don't know why that tickles me. That was funny. It's terrible. Let me see the reactions I'm getting here. If we could throw fruit at you, we would. That's hilarious. I love it. That's awesome. Okay. Last bad dad joke. Oh my God, these are pretty bad. These are pretty bad. Movie. Oh, this is a good one. This is actually pretty good. All right. What kind of drink can be bitter and sweet? What kind of drink can be bitter and sweet? Reality. Oh. All right, that's all I got, guys. And that was bad dad jokes in honor of Brian. So there you go. Lemonade. Oh yeah, I guess yeah, but reality. You guys are awesome. All right, boys. It's time. The time has come to say goodbye. But thank you for hanging out with me today. Remember, Muto's got a show tomorrow. Submission Fishing Co. 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Over at Submission Fishing Co. On YouTube. Check him out. He's in the chat. Click on his name and follow his channel. Say hello. I was planning on streaming tomorrow, but I'm not sure if I do. It'll probably be outside the window of when Muto is streaming, just to not overlap. Maybe do something earlier to lead into his show, just to give him a little boost, something like that. So, all right. I'll see you guys on Monday if I don't see you tomorrow. Remember, Monday Kevin Nakata is going to be on the show, and we're going to be doing some Savage Gear. He's going to be introducing us to some Savage Gear fishing lures and their lineup. But it's fair game to ask any questions that you guys have as far as like yellowtail fishing, tuna fishing, any kind of fishing you've seen Kevin do, kayak fishing, all that stuff. And then Wednesday, Brian will be back, and he'll be able to share the story of his adventures in Lake Mead and what that looked like. It looked like a crazy start. So many boats in the water. So it's gonna be fun. I think that's all I got for you guys. So shout outs. Mr. Zach Ricks, thanks for showing up today. Sound Fishing in the house. Leonard, thank you for helping me mod today. So thank you, Salty. Thank you, Eric, for helping me mod as well. Mr. Cal, Cave Dog in the house, thanks for showing up. I'm glad you made it. Submission Fishing Co. Muto, thanks again for showing up, buddy. What else is in here that I missed already that I didn't get already? Zach. Captain Dan in the house, of course. Mark G. Everybody that Aaron and Eric Klein and everybody else that submitted photos for PP shoutouts. Thanks everybody. Have a good night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow or Monday.